Hey, what's going on, guys? Let's we'll give it to just past 8 and let people funnel in. Pull this over. Okay, cool. We'll just give it a sec here, let everybody funnel in. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab water and then let's let everyone funnel in.
Hello, my friend. How are you? Aditi.
Alrighty, just past 8. How many people we have? Where are we here? Down here, 11. Okay, cool. If you guys are not.
Hey, Mitch, I can't really hear you.
Okay, can you hear me better? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you sound fine, bro.
Okay, cool.
You're loud and clear.
All right, cool. Can I just ask you guys to mute yourselves until you're ready to speak? This can be very informal webinar. Adil, you can't hear me. Let me see if you're, I don't even see you in here. Adil, trying to see. Maybe, are you the numbered guy, Adil? No. Oh, right here.
I'm Hiwa, the number guy.
Hello. Okay, maybe Adil, try to leave and come back in. Can you guys all not hear me?
No, you sound clear.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Adil, maybe you just need to.
Yeah, I know. I got it. Thanks.
Hey, Adil, try connecting through the audio, the computer audio.
The thing is, I had to connect it to a monitor. That's why. So
Cool. All right, guys. Well, let's jump into it. I'm going to take over this week for the weekly webinar. So just a few things I want to touch on. I have them written down for the upcoming week. Okay, so in terms, starting with economic data, kind of can lead the charge in terms of news. Thankfully, this week we don't really have a whole lot. So if you guys don't, if you are either new or you don't really know where to look for economic data, Econo Day is what I use, okay? And this will just tell you everything coming up for the week. And then at the bottom, it's got the little legend for it, okay? So red is market moving, meaning very important.
Huh?
So, guys, can you just make sure that you're muted in case you're side conversations so we just don't get distracted? So the red means market moving. We don't have a whole lot, right? So we have our typical Thursday jobless claims. That's, we've been having that number's been in focus for a while, but we don't seem to like really do much on it unless the number's really good. Then we will go, we'll pump. Even if the number's bad, it's like, oh, it's expected. So it's whatever. ISM can be bad, can be important. So what I want to quickly touch on here, guys, in terms of this economic data is the SPY. I don't trade really SPY as like intraday, but I use it as a um, you know as an indicator for the rest of my trade. So if I'm in Apple calls, I want to make sure SPY looks healthy and is not right up to resistance. And yeah, so in terms of this, in SPY, I'm seeing the RSI is the highest it's been in a very, very, very long time. All of, I believe, 2020. Okay, and this is on a daily time frame, guys. So this is something that does not happen very often. If you look at this, all of these peaks, even before Corona, RSI was not very high. All of these peaks, we got very high. Okay, not even this high. So to be currently over 80 or just about 80, what I'm looking for is a pullback. And now the pullback doesn't need to just happen automatically. I'm not going to just take puts just because of this. But what I'm looking for is one of those days where we sell off super hard and everyone's kind of looking like what happened. Like it might be one of those economic days where there's not really a, like someone is not muted. It's very distracting. Okay. So what I'm looking for is a set of economic data or some sort of news that's not necessarily like jaw-droppingly bad, but it gives the market a reason to pull back. Okay. The market, in my opinion, based on this RSI, which I on daily time frame swear by, if you used it off the lows in March, you would have been buying down here. You would have been really good. So I'm hesitant to jump in very bullish here, even though we're past resistance. I'm looking for some sort of if we see some data that comes out that looks iffy, or we see some news about TikTok, or we see profit taking or whatever happens, I'm looking to see a pullback come because of this. So don't be shocked. Be on the lookout for any sort of sell the news event where they just want to dump shares, liquidate, lock in some profits and move on. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing with SPY now. With economic data, nothing huge to worry about. We don't have FOMC. We don't have anything crazy going on. Okay. So be on the lookout just for all of these. The ISM could be enough to do it. The jobless could be enough to do it. Be on the lookout with this daily RSI. It's very vulnerable to a sell-off at this point. So just be on the lookout. Okay. The next set of news we're all watching is going to be the Tesla and Apple stock split. Okay. Now, I'm not sure what to expect here. I'll be honest. I don't have history in trading the stock splits. This is the first one for Tesla. I think this is the fifth for Apple. Obviously, if you look at Apple, it's gone up from the stock split, but at the same time, the overall broad market has gone up since their stock split. Okay, so I think you need to realize as well, the stock split, the market cap is not getting any bigger, right? It's like having a pizza, and instead of having one big slice of pizza, which is the $2,000 Tesla share, now you have 5 slices of that pizza, but you're not getting any more food. It's just divided up into smaller pieces. Okay. That being said, I think there are enough new traders, and I think there's enough hype around it that people literally think that Tesla is a cheaper company now, which is not. Okay, so now what does that mean? What am I looking for this week? Specifically tomorrow, I'm looking for a pump out of Tesla and Apple. Okay, I think that there will be enough hype, especially with futures green, that we will see these two push. Okay, so futures are green if you guys pay attention on Sundays. Let's pull these up. Okay, futures are very bigly green. This should be good for Tesla and Apple. So plans for those pre-market highs, trade the pre-market highs. And my trader workstation has not updated the prices yet, so I haven't even really been able to chart. So tomorrow morning we'll see. My plan is just pre-market high, trade the momentum, until that's kind of fizzled out. And if we sell off, then, it might be a little bit trickier. Okay. That's my plan for SPY, Tesla, and Apple. Okay, so now I want to look into some individual names that I have charted. So I have a swing in here with NVIDIA. Come on. Okay, I have a swing in on NVIDIA currently. I really like the 4-hour chart. So guys, if now is the time. If you have questions about how to chart, please ask questions. Okay, so why did I take this NVIDIA trade? Okay, on Friday, it closed above all-time highs. No resistance here. It was worth the risk of this continuing to push. It was able to hold and close above it. I took the risk. Okay, so why do I like this for a continued move up? I mean, if you just continue, if you look back at their charts, guys, right, when they break over, especially on the 4-hour chart, right, they break over resistance here, and how they made a roughly, a $25 move from 430 to 455. Okay, and then once they broke through here over 470, they pushed to about 500. Okay, so another $30 move. I think that this has 550 in it. Okay, maybe not tomorrow. I'll probably take it off tomorrow. But this is a setup I'm watching for continued high. So pre-market high tomorrow. We'll be watching NVIDIA for more upside. I took the 525s. I stayed at the money, Antonio. I stayed at the money. I took 525s this upcoming week expiration, I think. Yeah.
Hey, so Mitch, how do you chart your 4-hour, 1-hour, and when do you know it's about to like break out? Like I know like if it's about to get close to the price, how do you know if it's like a breakout or a fake out?
Yeah, to be honest, there's not a huge difference between 4-hour and the hourly. So what I typically will start with is the 4-hour, and I'll just look for like, where are we generally? Okay, so like, back in this space right here. Okay, so if I was charting this, I would have been like, okay, I can see a large area of accumulation and distribution, right? That's just all consolidation is, shares trading hands, not really going anywhere. So, if I was trading at, this break, I know this is my key level, is this high here. I wanted to get clear of this level, and then there's my breakout. Okay, so that's where the 4-hour, the 1-hour would have showed you very much the same thing. Okay, now in terms of this here, so I'll show you the 4-hour. This is what I was seeing over 520. Now on the 1-hour, it's going to look very similar. Okay, here's the 1-hour, right? We had resistance here in the pre-market. I like to do whole levels, so 520 made sense to me for a close. I was looking for a close above 520. If we could close above 520, also midday we pulled back to the VWAP, which was 520 area, held it quite well, closed at high day. Okay, so the 4-hour and the hourly show me basically the same thing here. Sometimes the 4 hours just less candles in general to look at, and in terms of swinging, you want to focus on the big picture. Right. Another thing to focus on, guys, when you're doing your charting is, what is the overall trend? What is the overall trend? So what are we seeing on NVIDIA? Higher, what are these higher lows, right? Pulls back low, pulls back low. Every time it pulls back, gets bought up at higher prices. Until that trend is done, it's just going to continue to make higher highs, right? New high, new high, new high. It's going to make a new high, then it's going to pull back, and then it's going to, make another new high. Okay. So that is that for NVIDIA. Now the next chip I'm paying attention to, I'm looking for strength out of chips all week this week. Is this AMD? Hopefully you guys are taking notes. I have it in my phone, guys, all of my notes, okay, written down, ready to go. I also write these down on paper before I start trading in the morning, so I know exactly what I'm focusing on. And if I ever lose sight of what I'm doing during the day, I refer to my notes and go, okay, am I following through on the setups that I studied on the weekend? Have I followed through with my Tesla and Apple plays that I plan to take over pre-market high? I'm not coming in with a bias. I'm just coming in with a plan. So when it happens, there's no hesitation. If it happens, and I'm going to go for it. If it doesn't happen, I'm not going to buy calls off the open regardless, but I'm ready. If it gives me the signal, I'm good to go. Okay, so there's no bias there. It's just a plan, and if the if the plan works, I'm ready to go right away. Okay, so I have AMD over BTC. 87.5 level. Again, where does this come from? It's just pre-market high, it's just all-time high, guys. There's nothing crazy about this. I also like this little wedge I see forming here, guys, through the lows. Okay, this is another trend just from the video. What are we seeing here? Higher lows, right? First low, second low, next low. This looks due for a squeeze through the top. It might chop around for another day or two, so don't be disappointed if it touches it again Monday and then pulls back. This might make the move midweek. It might make it tomorrow. We'll see, right? If the market holds up like this come open, this might gap up over all-time highs. So on the watch for that, and on the watch for Intel. Okay, guys, this is another good watch here. Probably will be looking to trade this.
Hey,
over.
Mitch.
Yes.
Quick question. So going back to AMD, let's just say it does gap up during pre-market, right? And my plan was originally from today.
Yeah.
So let's just say, would you wait for a pullback, or would you get in if it continues to go up?
Yeah. So there's two situations. So I would be in that situation. I'm going to be prepared for first situation, break of pre-market high and continuation. So that's what we call a gap and go. So it's going to gap up. We have our pre-market high, kind of like CRM last week, right? So let me pull up CRM and show you what a gap and go looks like. As you can see, a lot of levels on this. I am all over this thing. Okay, so here was the gap and go play, right? Massive gap up. Okay, so here's AMD. Let's say that pretend this is AMD. Tomorrow gaps up. Futures are strong. It gaps up. This is the entry. Okay, over pre-market high. Now let's say it gaps up, but then instead of going up, it sells off on the open. Now, what am I looking for if it does that? At that point, if it sells off at the open, I'm going to be watching the previous resistance of 87.5 to make sure that previous resistance now becomes current support. Okay, so when it pulls back, I will be looking for probably a dip buy off of 87.5. So be buying calls off of 87.5. If I see the strength in the L2 and the time and sales, if I see a lot of buyers bidding it up there, then I will go for it. If I don't, I'll probably just wait and watch and then look for a break of the highs to enter. Okay, so there's there's I guess three setups. The first being a gap and go, like the CRM I showed you. Second would be a dip buy off of 87.5. Third is just wait for it to fizzle out and then trade the high of day when it happens, if it happens. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. You always want to be aware of your levels on the major charts, like the 4 hour, and just make sure that that if this pulls back, let's say it pulls back in the open, you're like, oh shit, I wanted AMD, but it's selling off, and then all of a sudden it hits 87.5, and then boom, bounces super hard. That's a missed opportunity. You should be knowing that is a big level where it should hold, right? Previous resistance should become previous support. Okay, so the next chip these are the three I'm watching this week in terms of the semis, and then this will be Intel. Okay, Intel got absolutely destroyed here and really just consolidated for a sickening amount of time. This was started July. This is a month of consolidation, right? So there's I forget what the exact phrase is. The bigger the base, the larger. I don't know what it is, to be honest. But what I do know is this is supposed to go back up to here, okay? So the larger this consolidation period, supposedly the larger the move up is gonna be, okay? So in terms of this chart, where is it going? It's going to go test 57, okay? Over 51 is going to, the opposite of AMD, where resistance will now be support. This was support, and this will be now tested as resistance, okay? So I'm looking for 51 to 57 here, probably as a swing trade. I don't think Intel moves great intraday for scalping. So if you want to trade this, I would recommend trading next week, maybe even end of September, or doing a call spread, doing something like that. Okay, what just happened? Okay, so that's Intel.
Mitch,
yeah.
You were talking about you were talking about swinging if it doesn't move during intraday, right? So would your entry typically be you want to wait till end of the day to get the best entry, or do you just want to get it out, get an entry when there's a breakout?
Yeah, with these, you want to wait till end of day. Just you want to make sure it closes where you need it to close. So you want to make sure that it closes above this 51. So you want it to close above resistance. So that's why in NVIDIA, what was important for me, why did I swing NVIDIA, not AMD? Well, because NVIDIA was able to close above resistance, above 519. Now AMD still closed below 87.50. So this trade to me is not in play for a swing yet. It might be soon, but it's not currently. So in terms of Intel, I want to see it close over 51. What's realistically going to happen? It's going to make the move over 51. I'm going to enter probably 2-week out calls, and I will either take profit off or I will, at the end of the day, make the decision, depending on where it looks like it's going to close, then I can look to swing. If I'm not in, if you miss it, if you whatever happens, you miss it, you're not focused on it, you're like, I'm not feeling good about this entry, look, come back to it at the end of the day, last 10 minutes, and as long as it holds up, doesn't dump, there you go, there's your entry. Okay, so that's what I look for in my swings. You just want to make sure that the candle can get over it and it doesn't end up with a massive wick sell off, kind of like this right here, like this dump, right? You don't want to be stuck buying at the top and then having it tank. You want it to actually start making some higher highs. So it looks good. It looks good. I like this setup a lot. Okay, so that's all the chips. That's Tesla and Apple, guys. And I know you guys might be a little bit disappointed. I don't have a lot to say about Tesla and Apple currently. Um, who knows? Really, I don't want to sit here and speculate about whether they're going to go up 10% or drop 5% tomorrow with profit taking. I don't know. We'll see tomorrow morning. Okay, I'm ready. I'm expecting it to go up, so I'm ready to play the pre-market high setup. I'm expecting big spreads with the options, and I'm expecting high volatility in the option market. Wow, because it's the first day that it's going to adjust from the splits. Okay, so that is that. Let's get into some of the earnings this week. There's not much. Okay, earnings this week. This is a great earnings, I guess, data provider called Whisper, Earnings Whisperer. Okay, so Zoom being the big one I'm watching this week. And then Zoom and DocuSign are really the two big ones. Broadcom is also a big one, but so watching these, Zoom first up is going to be a big one. Okay, so this is the Zoom setup that I'm seeing here, guys, on the 4-hour chart. Let me just remove this. Okay, so we got some resistance or some support coming through the lows here, and we have some overhead resistance. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's a tough one to call. I don't know with these names if there's going to be profit taking ahead of earnings or if we're going to see some buying into it. It's really tough to see. We're just going to have to wait and see. So, if I'm charting this, all I'm really looking for here, guys, is the break over the highs. Break over this high, 303.58. So 303.50. Looking for a break through 303.50 to start the kind of momentum. I do think if there is not so I think what's going to happen here, this needs to sell off super quick. If this hangs out for a while, I think you're going to see a rip because I think shorts are going to say we're fucked and we need to get out. So if this doesn't sell off super hard in the morning, if this just gives a period of consolidation, I think you'll see a mid-afternoon break and a rip into close because shorts are just going to say, screw it, we're getting out here. It's not worth risking a massive move on earnings, getting washed out 20-30%, like a CRM type move. So I think that if this can hold off the open, you'll see a new high out of this. So watching 303.50, guys, make sure if you're trading this, don't trade next week's expiration. There's no point. You're not swinging it. You shouldn't even be giving yourself the comfortableness of swinging or taking next week's and say, I'll swing. Like, don't swing. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for with Zoom. Expectations are good. Are they built in? It's at all-time highs. I don't know. We'll see. Over 303.50 is my my plan for that. Antonio, am I using 4-hour and 1-day chart? Yeah. So you see me, like, I think the one thing that a lot of you guys need to just realize is I've been charting for a very long time. So like for me, this is so, like I can chart this so quickly. Like it's literally just second nature to me. Like I can, and how does it get there is, you need to just you need to take time and you need to like I can do this in literally 2 seconds, right? I can identify the major levels of resistance, the major levels of support, and then I can identify the lows and the highs, right? So how did I get here? I didn't really learn from it. You just have to learn by yourself of sitting on here and applying them and watching where is the price rejecting, where is the price bouncing. Sometimes it's not a level, sometimes it's a trend line, right? So you need to spend time on here figuring it out for yourself. Obviously, guys, I'm here to help. If you have questions about charting, please ask, but please make sure you're putting in the time too, because that's where you'll start to notice. Okay, so that's Zoom. Next one I like is that's the only really earnings I care about this week. So Zoom, this is a big watch for me, guys. I was totally faked out here. I thought that this was gonna rip through here. I thought this was going boom, like inverted H, right? This looked like a perfect inverted H, bounced off support, 2 hammers, nice bullish close, and then it just kind of fell apart. So this inability to make a new high showed me that it's weak. So 4 hours showing me that, and then the hourly, let's just dump all these, get rid of all these. Okay, so what am I watching here? Again, it's just going to be this 280 level, 280, and I'm going to be watching the low here of 260. Okay, I think below 260 is going to be a pretty much straight shot to 250. Okay, $10 drop there. And again, guys, where does this come into play? SPY is at that 80 RSI on the daily. We get some sort of slightly bad economic news or Corona news or bad vaccine news, whatever it could be, guys. It's going to be a non-event that's going to turn into an event. And it's going to be the CNBC headline, Dow drops 600 points on bad vaccine news or bad ISM numbers, whatever it is. We've seen this case all happen so many times before, so just don't be alarmed. But if SPY starts to sell off, this is, for me, one of the top watches, because once this gets going below 260, it's just going to be floodgates. It's done to 250. If 250 can't hold, the real next level of support it's a long way down, okay? So make sure you guys have your alerts set here, 260, 280. Over 280 is going to be, this is a nice consolidation period. It still can make a new high, okay? So that's my CRM setup. I like Square on the 4 hour. Okay, guys, again, what am I looking for here? Clear area of resistance here is the 161, okay? It got through 160, right? And then what happened over 160? Didn't really do much, okay? So I'm gonna give this to 161 and make sure that it's got space. What are you guys noticing here? All of the lows are getting higher and higher, right? Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Okay, so what is going to happen here, guys, is one of two things. This really started all the way back here. Like this has been going for a while, right? All the way through the lows. This is either going to rip through highs or this is going to make a lower low, okay? So if this makes a lower low, it should probably sell off all the way back down to roughly 140, okay? So again, keep your alerts on this, guys. This is the 4 hour chart. Watching for a higher high if the market continues to stay strong. Again, if we get that pullback, I'm expecting out of SPY. This is without a doubt going to break and make a new lower low. It probably has the 140, okay? So this is where I'm watching here is basically just the lows and the absolute high of 161. And then next, I have 2 left. Facebook. Okay, this is a setup for puts, in my opinion. I do not really like this for upside. Is weak the last 2 days, had no movement at all. Way off the highs here. Like this has to, it's gonna have to make a heroic day to get past resistance. Like an absolutely beast day to get past there. I don't see it really happening. And again, I think, I've said it a few times, when SPY gives that pullback, it's gonna happen. It's not gonna not happen. It will happen. Under 290 to 283 is gonna give a $7 drop roughly. And it might stall out at 85. So just be careful for that. But there's not much here. This is pre-market levels. This is not even during the day levels. So this is not a strong area. So I think under 290, the floodgates open and dumps to 283. And then once this happens, guys, what's going to happen? SPY starts selling off on this, whatever the news might be. Then you see CRM start to tank below that level of profit taking. Then you see Facebook start to tank below that level. Then you see Square start to sell off, and everything just turns into one and another. And then it just ends up being a massive sell off. Okay. So am I bearish? Not totally. I'm just not overly bullish until we get that washout that can kind of allow things to reset. And then this one I really like to the upside, CCL. Okay, so this is the last one that I'll answer some questions. CCL 4-hour chart looks great. Okay, break over the recent high, the recent high here was 1664, broke and closed above it, and looked like it had some movement after hours. Okay, so I like that. I also like it's been putting in a little bit of a base here, through the lows. It's made some higher lows. So next level I'm looking for is 18. Okay, so a move over 18 really sets this up for what could be a giant squeeze. Okay, CCL, the Carnival, the cruises have been devastated, right? Absolutely devastated. If we get some rotation out of tech, if people start to take profit out of tech, Apple, Tesla, CRM, Facebook, all that, if that money comes out of tech, I think it's not unlikely to see it come into the airlines and into the cruise lines, right? We saw it before when this move happened. So the key to this trade is likely going to lie in this level here at 18. Over 18, we probably see a squeeze to, what is this, 19 and a half, and then, probably 20, but then this level is getting tested. 22 is going to get tested. Okay. Over, over 22 might be a stretch. Over 22, we're looking at 27, maybe 26. Okay. In this range, at this range, that'll be crazy. Okay. Those are that's what I'm watching for this week. So feel free, guys, now ask me questions, whatever you guys want, any stocks you want me to look at. If you guys have questions, like I've mentioned it a few times, why I think SPY is ready to sell off. If you don't understand why, feel free to ask. If you have any questions about the economic data, anything, guys, let's get ready for the week. Let's be ready to, I know exactly what I'm looking for this entire week. I have all my individual setups. I know my levels on SPY. I know what I'm expecting from SPY. I have levels to upside, downside, ready for everything. Any questions? Nothing.
To go off, it's me again.
Yeah.
So to go back to your point about levels on SPY, you were saying that you even have levels for it to go higher. So how exactly would you continue to watch it, like in terms of levels for the upside, since it's already?
Yeah, because it's already through highs, right? Yeah. That's a good question. I'm not overly, like, again, I said I don't trade SPY, like I intraday ever. I never trade SPY. I just use it as like a benchmark for where I think things are going. So levels to the upside, really, I think it's just going to go every $5 now. So, once we got through 340, 345 was kind of a big level. Once we got through 345, we ripped. So yeah, I'm looking for probably, I wouldn't be shocked if we hit 355 tomorrow. That would be a 1% move. If Apple and Tesla get the move up, I'm expecting over the split. That should
I'm
be,
looking at.
that should be enough for
Go ahead.
Yeah, so upside 355. I'm not. I let the chart kind of do the talking for me. I don't really try to predict when it's up all-time high. So like, for example, who made an all-time high recently? NVIDIA, right? So when people, there's a very common question. When they're trading, they're like, well, where's NVIDIA? It's all-time high. Where's next? So what I do, so this was all-time high. What do I do is at this point, if you're trading this, you want to wait for it to, okay, let me pull this off. If you're in here, you cannot just continue to hold calls like and if on weeklies, especially 0DTE on Friday, and just think that these will never have a pullback. These candles are huge, right? You need to understand in the market that there are, ebbs and flows. It's going to go up and it's going to pull back and it's going to make new high, then it's going to pull back. It's just how it goes. So what I like to let the chart do the talking. So this made an all-time high, okay, through 520, okay. So now I'm just waiting for a rejection level. So here, boom, here's our rejection level. Now I know to go higher, this is our level. So I would have been able to use this to get a quick scalp in over the high here, and then probably 525 is where it topped out. Yeah, 525. So I use whole numbers, and then I let the chart kind of tell me where I can go and where I can't. So at this point, I would have been waiting for the rejection, and then the rejection tells me, okay, here's your level. Over this level, you have room to the next probably whole number for all-time high. So that's how I play. Any questions, guys? Anything? Anything? Home Depot, yeah. I don't trade Home Depot. I literally have only traded Apple and Tesla and Nvidia really for the last while. So let's check this. It's a good question. Daily, I know they were ripping. So this is a double top for sure. I can see right here already. Okay, double top here. The only thing that they have kind of bullish for them is as fucked up as it is that the hurricane. Okay, that's good for them because people have to rebuild. Sad, but it is what it is. Double top here. This is not bullish to me at all. I would honestly, if you want to swing, I would take puts and stop yourself out at 294. I think that this is likely to test this level again. 280, below 280 is probably coming to 270 where there was previous resistance. Okay. This also goes with the mindset that I think that the market in general is going to pull back off that RSI. I think the best setup here would be seeing this double top and swing puts. Day trading Home Depot is tough. You have to find the right contracts. There's not liquidity everywhere like with Tesla and Apple. So if you probably want to be trading Home Depot off of news like home sales and maybe an upgrade or something like that. You like it upside? Yeah, I don't like this double top. And it's just slow. It's just super slow. So we'll see. Yeah, good question. I don't have an opinion on this thing. There's not enough data to have an opinion realistically. Like, I don't know. Could go up, could go down. I have no idea. Holy shit, the range on this thing is insane. Holy smokes. Last week it was 7. Holy shit. Let's see. See, like, so guys, here's an example of, we have 2 minutes left. I'm going to do this quick. So you can look at charts. You don't have to look at it and make a decision because it's the 4-hour chart. I look at this and I'm like, I don't really know. I don't have an opinion. Let me go to an hourly. Let's see if I can form an opinion off an hourly chart, form a trade idea off an hourly chart. Okay. So here, I think that this, now I start to see a little bit clearer. We have intraday here at 152. And so I would probably do 152 upside to test all-time high of 160. So that would give you a $10 move. That's a decent scalp. I think you could play, you could short or take puts. I don't even know if they have options under this 128 level because under 128 is probably going to sell off to this low here. So a $5 drop under that, you're probably going to get down to here. Okay. This one's tough. I'm not 100% sure on this one. Okay, Walmart, Microsoft. I'm not going to chart Walmart and Microsoft, guys. But yeah, with the TikTok news, Walmart don't touch. I know they're not doing the deal. Microsoft might do the deal. Be long calls if anything. Better upside than down there, and that's pretty much it, guys. I think we're literally just about to get timed out here. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to message me. The one thing that I could just emphasize, guys, do your research. Get ready for the week. Have your levels, create a bias of what you want. That way, when it happens, it should be a strong bias where you're like it's likely to happen. Don't trade it regardless, but be ready if it happens. It should be an 80-20 that it happens. If 80% chance it happens, you're ready. 20% it doesn't, who cares? You spent time studying. It's no harm, no foul, okay? Message me if you guys need anything. If not, I will see you guys in the morning. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Nice.